Hi friends! So after getting discharged from the hospital and feeding all the doctors to Flapple, I am now ready to cover week 2 of the Electric Surge Draft League. So this week is a lot more bombastic, a lot faster than the other week. It's basically just a bunch of 2-0s as everyone kind of get used to their teams and essentially, the pack begins to form of who's the top player, who's in the middle, and who's kind of struggling a little bit. So without further ado, let's go on to the first match. The Dragonators versus Sena's team. Guys, please name your teams, please. It's so awkward for me. Essentially, for the first match, once again, I'm just gonna, have a quick go about my thoughts of everyone's choices, what they brought. Perhaps I can do a little bit of post-game commentary as well. But basically, in terms of my prep, the idea was that I wanted to capitalize on competitive Meowstic. I didn't really have anything that Meowstic could really benefit from doing. Like, for example, I perhaps could have gone for Imprisoned Trick Room and stuff like that, but I wanted to see that damage, baby. And so with Mawile and with Mirror Armor, I can use Overquill to trigger that and hopefully give this thing a +2 boost and start dealing damage. And Sena, once again, before he made the change, it's just these 5 and a random shitter. And Malamar is probably the best shitter you could have brought against this team, so not much to comment there. Without further ado, let's watch the fight. Meowstic and Overkill lead, reading the Garchomp and Corviknight lead. So yeah, everything is going according to plan except I'm an idiot and that's not how it works, but I still didn't get punished because Sena was being really nice. Overquill basically has no damage now except Expert Belt Max Special Attack Ice Beam. Really funny. Meowstic goes for the Mega, basically achieving spoiler fucking nothing, as I taught the Farigiraf. Being Draft, of course Farigiraf has Mental Herb and now Meowstic is as good as dead. Going to Electros to basically cycle the Intimidate later on. Player Up did pretty high damage and now Farigiraf is really trending. Excadrill comes out and eats the Domestic Violence combo of getting Play Roughed and eventually screamed at. However, it survives and lands a huge Earthquake onto Mawile and did great damage onto Farigiraf. And now it's just a matter of stalling out Trick Room turns. Farigiraf, being a fucking Apex Predator, survives the Wild Charge, screamed at Electros, and almost killed Overquill. One more turn on Trick Room, Overquill is unfortunately sacked because it doesn't have Protect, but Excadrill, being the survivor that it is, has managed to revenge against this thing and win the game for me. That was a pretty good game 1. Hopefully game 2 isn't much worse. Okay, let's move on to game 2. Charizard leads and Sceptile. I'm changing shit up a bit because why not? The Rock Slide hits Charizard, of course it survives again. And with Sunny Day, Overheat missed the Malamar, nice. Sceptile, being super bulky, able to survive the super power as well. Dragon Pulse to quickly kill the Garchomp, that didn't matter, I think. And a second Overheat has missed the Malamar. Incredible. So now Malamar is looking really scary as I go to Electros because I just megaed my fucking Sceptile. I can't really do anything about this. Overheat finally hits, but turns out Malamar is just the best fucking Pokemon in the game. It has Rock Slide anyway. Electros manages to avoid that, but the Flamethrower hits into the Protect. This thing fucking sucks. Earthquake goes into the Malamar, dealing basically nothing. And Superpower puts this thing to Shash, and basically at this point the game is already over. Discharge does fine damage, but fine is not great. Paralysis though doesn't really matter because it's Trick Room. Mawile now comes in and can basically do whatever it wants. Protect onto the Excadrill, but of course Mawile is just gonna hit the Electros. Definitely. Yeah. Nice. And Excadrill cannot survive the Domestic Violence combo. So let's move on to game 3 here. So game 3, basically that game was kind of shitty because Charizard didn't get to do its thing and do big numbers. It missed twice. So in game 1, it worked kind of well for me. So of course I didn't return to that game plan and basically just did the exact same thing again. Mawile lead and Garchomp lead. So this is a really good lead for me. Switching to Varric makes perfect sense, and I raw switched to Overquill to weaken the Garchomp because I'm trying to save my Mega for some reason. Charizard of course killing because it's the Apex Predator. Overheat for a bit of chip, and Overquill trying its best Aerodactyl impression and went for the fucking throat. Superpower starts boosting this guy up, but it doesn't really matter as I go into Excadrill. Rock Slide misses both. Overquill definitely would survive that, by the way. Ice Beam to kill the Garchomp. And now, oh my god, if both Rock Slide hits, I still don't think Overquill would die because it's the best Pokemon in the game, and it got crit. It got a crit. This Pokemon is crazy. Actual Apex Predator. Electros could never. So yeah, that's a pretty good game 1. I finally won a set. And next up is No One Closer Fans versus Serendepitys. Let's watch the first game here. Okay, so immediately I see a missing guy here, and that's Trevenant. I think Trevenant would have been pretty good into this matchup. Leafeon would have been pretty good into the Espatra with speed boost because it probably outspeeds and kill with something like X-Scissor or Solar Blade, maybe with like a Life Orb or something, but most likely it's not gonna be Espatra because this team is just so offensive, right? So I think Trevenant would have been a pretty good call here because first of all, being Trevenant, it can consistently heal itself with Citrus, and thanks to the Sun, Harvest is gonna just recycle that, so it has a lot of survivability. Second of all, it can switch out of Infestation Toxic because it's a ghost type, so it has a lot of survivability, which allows it to kind of disrupt and do solid damage to anything. Like Aegislash is gonna be annoying, but eventually, like Aegislash is gonna be Trevenant itself, and this thing can just Trevenant can just start throwing stuff like Nightshade, Will-O-Wisps, just start chipping pretty nicely. I think that would have been cool. On Seren's end, I mean, like, this is just a really annoying bulky core. And Toxapex is basically only trend ever by the Garchomp. And perhaps the Basculegion with a few less respects, but honestly, it's not even that much likely because Toxapex is also an Apex Predator, Jesus Christ. So let's go and see the games. Mamoswine and Toxapex lead versus Charizard and Aerodactyl. This seems like a pretty solid lead for Cloyster, but Aerodactyl setting up Tailwind probably because this thing is super bulky and expecting a Rock Slide or something. Megas and finally now attacking, but the Mamoswine protects instead. Rock Slides hitting the Toxapex as Solar Beam comes into the protecting Mamoswine. Toxapex gets a Toxic off, and it's basically the beginning of the end, I believe. Basculegion comes in, very smart play here. Solar Beam comes in. Mamoswine does have a chance with it, of course it does. And Infestation means that Charizard is now officially on a very quick timer. Once again, another protect on my boy. Baneful Bunker as well. Charizard can't really do anything. Wave crashing into the Mamoswine makes sense. And Dragon Pulse as the third move. Interesting. I wonder what the fire move is. Wishing to Scrafty to lower the damage on Basculegion. Wave Crash basically does nothing in the rain now, which is crazy. Dragon Pulse also does nothing. That's a crit. That's crazy. Infestation probably doesn't really matter considering that this thing can squish out. Charizard still survives, but it doesn't really matter. Bro tries to attack again, probably should have squished, and Heat Wave manages to kill the Scrafty, but Toxapex just recovers. Of course it did. What the fuck? This Pokemon is the 1v1 master. Dragonite comes out, and with his huge bulk is probably gonna be super annoying. And Dragon Claw hits the Toxapex, but it doesn't fucking matter. This thing probably only has Earthquake from what I'm seeing here. And now Basculegion is kind of just dead in the water. Aerodactyl comes out. Baneful Bunker Protect is super safe, but no, it's the Wave Crash. This is probably Scarf then. Rock Slide, probing for a flinch maybe, but it doesn't matter because this thing's gonna die anyway. And boom. So Toxapex had the same kills as Dragon Knight there, which is really impressive. Cool. I really enjoyed watching Toxapex sit on a bunch of Pokemon and does basically nothing. So game 2, I think Cloyster really wants to adjust a more offensive start here, perhaps with Mask Legion to flip turn into the Memo, and Charizard to just start firing Heat Waves if it has it. You really want to preserve your Garchomp for the potential, of course, the potential Dragon Knight and this thing Aegis Slash in the back. I think you could be a lot more liberal with just going in and switching out with Mask Legion. Cloyster probably forgot about the fact that Mask Legion being a ghost type can switch. Okay, let's go and play with sound off. Meros Y and Toxapex again. Good lead once again. Garchomp and Charizard, very offensive duo here, but Garchomp is going to get hit with a really strong move here. Earthquake does good damage. Icicle Crash, this thing's faster than Charizard, that's crazy. Yashi Berry is a really good call. Toxic, is it Toxic onto the Charizard? Yes, Garchomp will be able to go for another attack, which is super scary. Scrafty comes out, weakening the Garchomp. Garchomp probably wants to fucking go away now, but no, bro just takes it, huh? Solar Beam into the Toxapex does not fucking kill. This is crazy. And Recover just... Fuck, man. Now Leafeon comes out. Oh, Mega Scrafty this time. Baneful Bunker makes a lot of sense. Yawn into the Toxapex doesn't really matter because this thing can protect, dealing huge damage here. But oh, Rock Slide miss is huge. Leafeon is very physically bulky. Dragonite now comes out, Yawn into the Toxapex as Charizard tries another attack. Honestly, I would try to pivot here because, first of all, Rock Slide threat and also Toxic is just racking up damage too quickly right now. And now this thing kind of can do whatever the fuck it wants. Probably wants to attack now. No, it's a switch. Ooh, that's right. This thing can switch, unlike the Charizard. Jesus fucking Christ, this Pokemon's so annoying! And now Charizard is kind of just dead. Yeah. Mask Legion with -1 attack really can't do much here. No Sun as well. Last Respect dealing respectable damage, but not enough. Knockoff dealing fine damage. Thunderbolt into the Mask Legion. Bro survives. Of course it did. And now this Scrafty can kind of just come in. Toxapex recovers again. Double Intimidate. Last Respect kills the Dragonite anyway, and Leafeon knocks off, dealing huge number to the Scrafty. Scrafty can now fake out a Leafeon, putting it on a timer. Last Respect doesn't do enough damage. I probably would have tried to protect, but okay, it doesn't really matter. Cool. Mask Legion is now on a timer. Baneful Bunker, of course. Last Respect on my bro, and Leafeon probably goes for something like Yawn. Yeah. There is potential here with crits. Last Respect dealing fine damage. The Yawn is pretty cool. Toxic onto the Leafeon. The game is probably over now because Infestation kills it here. Okay. Solar Blade. Ooh! Probably should have knocked off before, but Solar Blade is a pretty cool call. 42%, unfortunately, not really enough damage to do anything here. Big knock coming. As a final act of rebellion, Toxapex got hit with a knockoff, but it still sleeps soundly at night, doing its best impression of a billionaire as it indirectly kills every fucking Pokemon on Cloyster's team. That's really cool. That's a really cool match. I'm not weeping at all. Fuck, man. So let's move on to a match that is probably less depressing. Sins versus Frogo Gadget. From what I'm seeing here, let's just go into the match. From what I'm seeing here, it seems that Sin has employed the Fake Out Gang, and this thing is probably just gonna nasty plot and completely destroy everything save for the Incineroar. Frogo really couldn't go for anything better than this. Honestly, okay. I think one thing that Frogo could go for, I guess, is 1. Quick Guard on my bro Cerulege, or 2. Psychic Terrain on this thing, because holy shit, what is this? Jesus fucking Christ, man. I think a Trick Room kind of game plan also could work, but that's gonna be pretty hard to employ considering Sinistcha is very weak to this. And also Kangaskhan is just an apex predator. I don't know what the fuck Flapple is doing here. Like, if I have not established my hatred to Flapple enough, then this thing kind of fucking blows. Although it does do pretty well against this thing specifically, I guess. So let's see what happens here. Play with sound off. Delphox and Blastoise lead here, very safe lead. Blastoise threatens Samuel here. Switching is interesting. I would have thought that this guy is kind of free to do whatever the fuck it wants. Yawn, this is probably Wakanberries, considering how fucking, like, how much it just does not give a shit. That's crazy. Flip turns out, does some chip to Samuel. Parting shot into the Sableye is unfortunate. That's a really good double switch there. This thing now goes for the Megas, but oh, no protect. This thing does have that. Shash is very smart. Nasty plot the first time. Fuck. What is it gonna be? Is it gonna be Quash here? It is. What the fuck? No, don't tell me. No. No! Heat Wave does huge damage. It's Blastoise here. The Raichu switches out. Takes minimal damage to take less damage from the Heat Wave. That's still quite a bit of damage. Is it gonna be the Flapple in the back? No fucking way. Samuel comes in, but I think it's a bit too late. Fake out into the Blastoise as this thing coils up. Coil is pretty interesting. Gravity is up though. I think it doesn't really matter if... Oh my god, Side Shock goes in and goes through, dealing huge damage. Delphox is hit for a lot of damage, but now Flapple comes out. 2 more turns of gravity. Parting shot into the Delphox goes into the Raichu. Shikra trying to do something here. Protects on the Delphox makes perfect sense. Protect on the Shikra. Zap Cannon, okay, onto the Flapple, predicting correctly. However, Flapple also predicts correctly and just kills bro. That's crazy. That's fucking nuts. Samuel comes out. Oh my god, the apple did something worth a damn. Flinch. And now Muddy Water will be able to finish off Delphox. That's crazy, man. Grab Apple kills Shikra finally, and now it's basically a 2v1. Blastoise probably has some water moves up his sleeve. Flapple, what is it gonna do? Leech Seed. Oh my god. For the end game? That's crazy. It got paralyzed, but it doesn't fucking... Oh, wow! Jesus! That's so cool. This thing has no water moves besides Flip Turn, and it's still the fucking worst Pokemon to face. That's crazy. Damn. Like, yeah, this thing did a lot of damage, but Flapple popped the fuck off. Holy shit. Sin, what's your secret? How did you get this thing to fucking listen to you, man? What the hell? Okay, game 2. Sin versus Frogo Gadget game 2. That's really impressive. I would say what the team does not have is Intimidate, so Sarolet's just kinda, you know, getting boosts, protecting on fake out turns, and like perhaps predicting certain switches would be pretty nice. And Shadow Sneak should deal a pretty good amount of damage. Gravity is interesting here. This means that Shikra doesn't really need Coil to, you know, hit its hypnosis, which could be good into the... If this Flapple is not speed invested, which I think it definitely will. That damage, I cannot tell if that damage is adamant. If this thing is bulky, then I guess it's kinda, but this thing is so strong. If I am Sin, I think... Okay, Frogo probably should pivot to something like this guy. I don't know if it has Quick Guard or not. If it does, I think that would be a really good call. Honestly, Sin just seems fine, right? Because it kind of walls this thing and cannot be, you know, leak seeded. The problem would be the Delphox, but dealing with it between like the Ensign and this guy probably is fine. Gardevoir doesn't seem to be that good last game. Okay, let's see what happens. Kangaskhan lead now with Delphox, a different slapper, and yes, okay, both the correct adjustment from what I thought. Rage Powder doesn't fucking matter because it's crazy damage. And now has to switch. Kangaskhan with Scrappy doesn't fucking matter. This thing can now go for a huge overheat, not overheat, heat wave, dealing good damage to Samuel as last resort. Basically slaps it in the jaw. Not really much it can do here. Wow, this is super terrible. Protect here as it fakes out the Kangaskhan. Pretty good. Gideon is not in a great position. Shadow Sneak does good damage, but Shy Shock will kill. And now Kangaskhan just kills this. This is what the fuck? Yeah, wow, that's a really offensive lead that just really pays off here. Trying to kill the Delphox. Oh no, got the correct lead, but went for Zap Cannon instead of Focus Blast. And now Kangaskhan. Oh, the paralysis. There's still hope for Frogo here, and it's fucking faster. Oh my god. Wow. You cannot expanding force with Delphox because this thing is. Oh yeah, okay. Gravity and that for expanding force. No, yeah. It's basically just for accurate heat waves and the Flapple, which is really funny. I respect it a lot. Wow. Okay, that's a pretty dominant showing from Sin here after the last week having a really tough battle against Gonzalo. Sin really showing why this team, even though its synergy is lacking, is still super strong. I mean, fucking synergy really doesn't fucking matter when you can just max someone across the county and steal their credit card, I guess. Fucking hell, that's really good. Really good from Sin. Okay. And let's move on to Shikra versus the Tallahassee Togedemaru. Let's see this here. Game 1. Alright. So, okay. Oh, okay. I think Telepathy, Gardevoir, and Digger Speed would be really fucking good. Huh? So you can kind of go Noivern for the speed control, and Digger Speed kind of just kill everyone, right? This thing can't really trend it because of the speed boost, and this thing trends back. I guess the Goodra, if it has coverage for this, would be good, but once again, this thing can just come in, and then that would be dead. Liepard is not gonna be too useful here, I fear, because like the opponent just Scorch is probably just going full damage here, huh? Yeah, okay, let's watch this. I think Skeps wants to lead with something along the line of. Oh, this is terrible actually. Sneasler, Garen to trend both. Fake out this thing. Accept that it might protect, and this thing will get like, okay, if its speed is higher, which I think it is, yeah, 1 speed higher. Fucking hell. Like, accept that it would get the Tailwind off, get that off, switch to Rotom on the Gren, and if this thing is Shash, or else you switch this thing out for Rotom. Oh my god, this is, yeah. Dude, Scorch team's so fucking good. Alright, let's see this. Caesar, Liepard. Okay, what is Liepard gonna do here? Rotom and Blaziken. Interesting. Now, this could be a fake out on either side, but it doesn't fucking matter. This thing can just do that. Double fake out, doing some chip to Robinho here. But Scorch getting the speed boost immediately and switches out. Frisk revealing items, not telepathy for the discharge, it seems. Encore fails. Of course it. Oh yeah, of course. Anti-incentive. Okay, that's cool. Swagger onto the Sneasler. Lumberry. Now this thing is super fast. Dire Claw. This thing survives. What the fuck? Huh? Tailwind up. Now it's faster. That's really bad. Protect here. Encore on that slot. Electro up. Again, this thing is faster in Tailwind. And no more Encore pressure. Dire Claw onto this. Critical hit doesn't matter. But now, with 2 more turns of Tailwind, I think Sneasler is kind of just dead in the water. Dark Pulse for the flinch chance. Close combat. Rotom is super bulky. Will it hit the Hydro Pump? No, it goes for Volt Switch instead. Very smart, because now Sneasler can come in and have a bit of pressure with Fake Out. Oh shit. It's one or the other. Correct call? Correct call. Meteor Mash. Correct Pokemon, but it lives! Jesus Christ! Okay, protect on Sneasler. Protect on both. Quick attack to kill the Sneasler. Flare Blitz doesn't kill the Metagross. Metagross is very bulky. It is stabbed. This thing is very strong. Flare Blitz kills. Will it be the correct call into this thing? Yes, it is. Oh my god. But will it be an... Oh no, this is terrible. Quick attack. Miss! Miss! No! Oh, one more chance. Bruh. Damn it. Wow. Jesus fucking Christ. Big Chungus over here living up to his fame as an international terrorist. Jesus, that is some criminal Hyper Pump miss. This Pokemon sucks. This is the worst Pokemon in the game. Jesus Christ, Rotom Heat is much better. Okay, some interesting observation here. Flare Blitz does kill from fall, which means this is probably adamant. So after +1, if this thing doesn't mega up, Caesar probably still outspeeds. Maybe? I don't know. I don't actually know. I think that's a reasonable enough assumption. I think Greninja would be a pretty good bring here. Like, if it's Ice Beam, it hits everyone. If it's Shash, then that would be really good. Sneasler being Lum and trying to out-offense this is not great when it doesn't even kill Cyclonus. That's crazy. Wow, this fucking Pokemon is way bulkier than I thought. +2 and it lives? Was that a range? Okay, let's just move on to game 2 here. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. The worst Pokemon to ever exist, bro. Okay, let's just play here. Sneasler, Liepard. Again, it worked out last time, but it will work out this time. Furina with the Protect. Pancake gets hit for huge damage, and now there's some threat here. Diggersby comes out as Encore once again comes out, and Dire Claw here onto Pancake just kills. This is a very good lead for Skeps. Northern comes out, frisking, and now this thing can probably do whatever the fuck it wants. +2. What is it gonna hit into? Tries to kill the Cyclonus. Bro, it's so bulky! Paralysis though. Earthquake just kills both here, I think. Oh no. It still gets the tailwind off. Oh shit. Goodra now trying to come out and save the day. Encore onto the Cyclonus, doesn't matter. Earthquake does too much damage. 30% onto Goodra, that's crazy. Acid Armor, oh, maybe? Maybe. This is the worst Pokemon ever. Why did you use it again? No! It's gonna get flinched. It did not get flinched. Oh my god. Life Dew. So perhaps this thing could... Oh, fuck. It survives with HP to spare. This Pokemon's good. Hydro Pump and Body Press onto Big Flopper. Bro has... Oh wow, that's a crazy call out. Doesn't even die from that, it seems. Quick attack onto the Rotom, and now Moonblast just kills. Single target, very smart. Very unfortunate first game. Okay, but that's a lot of things to read. Yeah, that's a terrible double miss. Oh wow. Dude, 20 HP, 6 defense, and this thing still lives that. This Pokemon's crazy. Ah, not adamant. That makes sense. Damn, bro. Fucking hell. Bang! Gotta throw the trash soon, guys, but doesn't matter. Yeah, Heat is probably better for also the extra resist to Fairy. It's also just much more consistent, deals a lot of damage up front, and with pivoting, this thing is very good. Like, yeah, it's probably better. Okay, let's just go back here and go through the final match here. Tipsy Trapinch versus Devee's team. Okay. Huh. So, Trapinch going for the Scolipede gameplay here, and this is the Devee's team. I think, okay, this is very interesting because Sunny Day Liepard seems very safe to just do whatever the fuck it wants, right? Because Sunny Day up, this thing can hit the Swampert with any grass move. And Heat Wave kills this thing as well. Like, the Arch doesn't want to fight this thing in Sun. So, oh wow, okay. This is very interesting. Perhaps it could be a, what is it called? Baton Pass speed boost onto this Swampert and just use it as an Earthquake attacker. That seems pretty good. That could be the plan here. Let's see it. Let's play with sound up. Okay. Good luck, have fun. Fortress Aromatisse versus Scolipede Lead and Alcremie. This is, oh, very interesting. Yeah, Mystical Fire immediately punishing the Fortress. Gunk Shot, oh my god. Damn, Gravity here. What is it trying to do? Formerly Hypnosis gameplay. Fake out, huh? Onto the Alcremie. Jesus Christ, Gunk Shot going to Shash. Poisoned. Medicham's immediately dead. Light Screen, unfortunately, it's too late. Because now Ampharos cannot 1v1 for sure. This is a huge Gunk Shot. Thanks to Gravity, it's very accurate. Huge damage with Dazzling Gleam, 27%. That's probably enough chip. Not enough, but now Ampharos does good damage back, but it doesn't fucking matter. Okay, that's a really dominant first game from Tipsy Trapinch. Crazy. Okay. Damn. Alright, let's analyze this a little bit. This is a really interesting lead from Trapinch, because now if there's a change in the second game, let's say it's Banette and Pyroar, then what could have happened is Banette goes for Sunny Day, or maybe not even Sunny Day, it could literally be anything, and Pyroar just goes for Heat Wave, and this lead can go for Protect, gets a speed boost. Alcremie can probably, if you're using Alcremie, you're using Decorate, and you can decorate through Protect, so you can decorate here, Protect, switch out with Baton Pass into maybe the Swampert? That sounds viable, and use the Swampert with the speed boost as basically your win condition. It could also be the Arch, could also be the Wordier with, oh, Wordier and what's it called? Store Power, yes. Oh, this is really interesting. Okay, let's go to game 2. This is a really strong lead from Tipsy here, figuring out a really good lead here. What could Devee do against that then? Fortress not an answer. Aromatisse also is like, okay, Aromatisse could probably do something with like Trick Room and stuff, but like still, this thing is very slow, so it's not the best. This thing is slower than Pyro in Trick Room, so you can just play no sun, no rain, I mean, and just beat it there. Wow, this is not great, huh? I guess Medicham with Fake Out would be kinda nice, but you kinda want the Sunny Day pressure, so I think this is just the best lead now. Okay, let's see it. Pyroar and probably Banette. Yes, I was correct. Scolipede and Alcremie lead once again. This is the best possible option here, but this is just gonna be Protect, Decorate. I'm sure of it. Protect. Sunny Day, Heat Wave missing the Alcremie, no damage here, Decorate, yes, exactly. Now this thing has 1 speed boost. It also could have Earthquake if it really wants to 1v1. Pelipper, it could be Earthquake here. Willow Whips onto the Scolipede, oh, very smart. Gunk Shot onto the Pyroar, that's a risky play here, but Scolipede seems to have actual, yeah, Scolipede seems to have some defensive investment, because that's really good. But Baton Pass immediately instead of like any other move, okay, that's fair enough. And it is Weirdier in the back. Interesting. Pelipper dealing some chip to Banette. Wait. Why did... Why did Weirdier take 46% and Pelipper took 47%? The toilet really living up to its name, huh? Or maybe the deer is just fucking cracked. This is crazy. What the hell? Okay, let's continue. Huge damage. Weirdier is now in some trouble. Stored power goes out. But now, next turn, whatever can come out, Medicham probably can fake out here, dealing good damage. Scolipede Megas. Weirdier finally goes down. And Gunk Shot still doing pretty good damage. Okay. Devee probably hoping to see some sad jazz in the rain and instead was hit by Uptown Gunk here. Leech Life healing. Oh shit! Okay, Dazzling Gleam just kills the Medicham. This Pokemon is crazy. What the hell? Alcremie is so strong. Shadow Sneak unfortunately not dealing enough damage. Alcremie can kind of just do anything here. Another Gunshot doesn't do much, but yeah, but now this thing can just shut down the game. Holy shit, Alchemy the carry, that's fucking crazy. Leech Life to heal, but Alchemy is just gonna shut this down. Oh wow, this is an incredible Pokemon. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this thing with Mystical Fire just kind of beats everyone on this team, huh? Jeez. Yeah, I was really expecting some gimmicks and tricks, but I guess this thing just fucking went for Magic Blast. That's some gimmicks and tricks for you. Jesus Christ, that's really dominant from Tipsy there. Oh, wow. Okay, that's really good. So, with that all out of the way, we will have a final section looking at the standings of everyone post week 2. This is probably, yeah, this is week 2 standing. Yeah. This is week 2 standing right here. Seren at the top for playing super well with the highest differential. Tipsy Trapinch very close behind, very dominant here. 2 very consistent players, no surprise here. Togedemaru, like Tallahassee Togedemaru standing at 3rd, having a very strong team, however facing some pretty interesting opponents. Very interesting opponents. So the win rate isn't as high. I still think this team is firmly the strongest, but these two are like proving themselves to be super consistent. Sin at 4 is very good, very dominant win to climb up to number 4 here. Devee back down to 5, even despite the week 1 performance. And I'm still at 6 for some reason, even though I have a soundly neutral plus-minus rate, huh? Okay, Shikra is -8. Okay, we got 3 -8 here, with Northern Cloister being barely outside at 7. Alright, that's pretty interesting. We can also look at some statistic here. Of course, Charizard has the most fucking kills. This Pokemon is crazy. Alcremie very close behind, having a better differential actually. Diggersby at 3rd, that's fucking crazy. And yeah, the rest are here. Overquill with 3 kills is not, no, a 3-point differential is not too bad. Sylveon as well, and having 4 is crazy. Yeah, this is really good. Flapple also has 4 kills. That's really impressive. Yeah, that's really nice. I'm just gonna say I'm very proud of my Charizard for tanking this much, for being the 4th tank here. This is really funny. That's really funny. And you know what's even funnier? The fact that I fucking threw it in the bin. So let's quickly talk about my team now, after I threw the rest of the squad. Okay. Just let's immediately address a few things. I did throw away all my fucking aces, okay? I did throw away my Overquill, I did throw away my Charizard, but I think it's worth it, okay? So initially, I wanted to basically change Electrons into normal Electrons because I do like Electrons a lot, right? But then Scorch kind of just, I got rage baited by Scorch, who basically said, this thing definitely has potential, you're just not gonna be, using it to its full. And I guess that's correct, because I'm not really the kind of player to, you know, kind of spoon feed a single Pokemon and make it good, right? That's not fun for me. But I kind of took up the challenge and is going to try and make this thing work. I still haven't, by the way. Okay, so basically, let's quickly explain the rest of the team. T-Tar is a very obvious pickup here, summoning the Sandstream, very good. Unnerve is also an excellent ability in this meta, by the way. This Pokemon is crazy good. No Terra means it's quite a lot worse compared to Gen 9, but it's still very good. And now Excadrill becomes basically the best Pokemon in the game, I think. Now it has Sand Rush, basically replacing the role of Overquill. Sand Forge if I really want the damage, and still has Mold Breaker to hit, say, Rotoms, right? Very nice, very good Pokemon now, especially with Sandstorm. I kept Mega Mailstick and now paired it with Armarouge. The idea is very simple: Psychic Terrain and Expanding Force, baby. We got Indeedee at home, and dude, this is probably cheaper than Indeedee. For this much point, I basically don't have a follow me mon in exchange for being a lot more like proactive in having this thing cost much less, and if I really want to, I can play the expanding force stuff. But also, this Pokemon is just really good, very consistent, has some speed here, so this thing can hold a Scarf to outspeed some stuff. If Power Herb is in the game, I think this Pokemon would be much higher because it does have Meteor Beam. Man, if only, huh? No weakness policy too. If this thing does have weakness policy, I would use this thing with weak armor and sword power. God damn it, that's such a missed opportunity. Fuck! Okay, Mega Stepstyle is still here. Still probably the most influential Pokemon on my team. Very good Pokemon. And Quaquaval is very nice. Quaquaval is kind of just a really good sweeper for 8 points. It hits pretty hard, has a really good moveset. It has stuff like Brave Bird and Triple Axle as coverage, which is really nice. I think it has Throat Chomp as well, I don't remember. But it's mostly just those moves, and it's very good. Good speed tier, hits decently hard, actually not too frail, so that's nice. I can use this thing with the Life Orb, with the Choice Scarf, with stuff, and Moxie is just a crazy ability. Giving this thing a substitute through Shed Tail is going to be my main strategy here, I guess. It's just a pretty solid Pokemon, and Vileplume is going to basically, with Armor replacing Charizard as the somewhat bulky attack fire type that abuses like fire damage, right? Then Vileplume is kind of just fulfilling the role of the Sun Pokemon now. Like, yeah, it's much weaker than Charizard in terms of like fire damage, but that's not really what this thing is good at. This thing is very good in Trick Room for being slow. Pretty fucking bulky too. Like, sure, this is not a good HP stat, but still, it can survive like neutral hits very well. Chlorophyll makes this thing faster than, I think, Mega Aerodactyl at Timid Max Speed too, which is really crazy. Most of the time, I don't even need to invest that much. I can just go max speed and I will outspeed normal Aerodactyl, which is cool. Yeah, this Pokemon for 7 points, I think is really good. For after you sleep powder stuff, just really strong Pokemon. Skarmory, I should have drafted Skarmory at the very start, man. This Pokemon is great. It has a huge defense stat, so it can use Body Press to do solid damage. It's very tanky. Sturdy is just like the Acheron before it. It's an amazing ability. Keeneye and weak armor is not really that great on a Pokemon like Skarmory, but I think this thing is pretty good. Not bad at all. I can use this thing to like taunt, to roar. I can just ruse and set up Iron Defense. This Pokemon is pretty versatile for 4. I like it. Importantly, it gives me Tailwind for once. And I also drafted this guy, which is another Tailwind option. This thing has no moves that benefits from Sheer Force that are actually good, by the way. Like this bro, I thought Sheer Force and Life Orb would be crazy for 2, but yeah, it doesn't learn fucking anything. Skilling though is very strong. This thing come close to like killing stuff like Incineroar, which is very impressive. Good attack. Everything else kind of mid, but the speed stat is actually quite nice. This thing can definitely be played in Trick Room, which is good, and then at the end of that Trick Room I can go for Tailwind and just play that. One pain point here is that since I don't have Oranguru anymore, Ghost type are just a huge pain in the ass now for my Trick Room mode. But of course, in exchange, T-Tar Excadrill, my fast mode, is pretty good into that. Overall, I think this team has a stronger ceiling. It's a bit less versatile. It's a bit more predictable, I think. Like, when you look at these guys, you probably know what they're trying to do, right? But I think it's still fine. It's pretty good. I love T-Tar. I love myself some T-Tar. I think I'm gonna be fine. Next week, I'm gonna be fighting Frogo. And this new team, like the old team, honestly, it has a much better matchup against Frogo, not gonna lie, because I could go like Sapsipper, Azumarill, and next to Sceptile, like it just cannot be hit at all, right? And I can belly drum and stuff, which is pretty good. But this team, I think, also has some sauce, which is nice. And yeah, so I guess that's the video. I really don't know how to do an outro here. I yapped a little too much, so Bazinga.